You waiting for the right time, bro. Don't rush it. It's a process.
21.
22.
23.
24.
25.
26.
27.
You gotta give somebody else a turn, bro.
But we're not going.
28.
Okay, what number are we at?
29.
30.
Okay. Let me have a turn, y'all. 30. One. You know a relationship is good for you when it begins showing you things that you need to work on. Like, I have learned that I am not a very vulnerable person. I am not a very approachable person. I don't smile. I don't talk to people right. I'm beginning to know this, man. I'm beginning to learn certain things. Hey, don't be shaking your head, bro. Don't be shaking your head. I'm beginning to learn certain things about myself that, like, I'm like, wow. Like, but you want to change them because you want to continue the relationship with this person. Because you know if you don't, well, that relationship's not gonna go anywhere.
We still love you.
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, like, I still don't care.
I know.
But like, I realize. You gotta understand. No, it's not. No, it's not. Okay. Okay. Do you guys know the difference between what is cultural and what is actually real? Because there are a lot of things that aren't real, but it's just because it's been passed down through the pipeline. It's been ingrained into your mind.
Expound further.
Yes.
So, Caribbean churches, right? Let's just jump right into it. Okay? Caribbean churches. We're just gonna jump right into it.
Alright.
Okay? Caribbean churches are churches of predominantly Caribbean people from, let's say, like Haiti, Dominican Republic, Jamaica.
Stop it.
Bro, I'm still trying to figure out.
Hey, let's be first for a change, all right? Let's be first for a change. Come on.
I'm still trying to figure out what your country is, bro. But when it comes to, like, so I've been to different churches, right? I've been to, like, American churches. I've been to Southern Baptist churches. I've been to, like, churches on Sunday, churches on Saturday. I've been to churches that have church on Thursday.
Yeah.
When it,
Same thing, man. I was like, wait, what?
yeah. What?
Thursday?
Yeah, bro. Like, people have church every day of the week. It's not just
I know
Sunday.
Wednesdays. I know when. Well, let's just get.
Yeah, I mean, like, bro, I'm telling you, like, I'm telling you, like, there are so many different things when it comes to church that you can get lost in, like, the religion aspect, and then you just totally lose out on Christianity altogether. Okay, so Caribbean churches, okay, these churches, right? They are what I would call, you know how people say, oh, when you're between a rock and a hard place? Well, they're the rock. Okay? And they're not the good rock. They're not the good rock. See, the hard place is where they push you. See, when you go to a Caribbean church, there is no like, you know, it's like there's no middle ground. Exactly. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, you know how people say you have to get a taste for it. You definitely, when you're not used to it, you have to get a taste for it because they are very rough. They're very, very harsh. Pastor Luke is cool. Oh yeah, bro, you know, I used to do that. Pastor Luke, he did all this stuff and that and the other. You walk into Jamaican church, why you didn't get a haircut this week?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm just like, that is literally like, specifically in our church, the problem is you come into it and they just think that they know you. Okay? Just like how I wouldn't go and read Michelle Obama's book and then me and her on a first name basis and like, oh yeah, that's Michelle, you know what I'm saying? I don't know her. So when I walk up to her, just because I read her book doesn't mean like I can have a personal conversation with her. You know what I'm saying? So you actually have to get to know people, and I feel like that is the aspect in our church that we are missing. Because back in the old days, you had to get to know people because you had your neighbors and they didn't have text messaging, so you had to go see them. It was a lot easier to get to know people. So now you have those old people that are like that, and then you have this new generation that aren't like that. Okay? So that's where the rift comes in, because they have a village mentality and we have an independent mentality. Okay? And that is why Caribbean churches are their own special box. They also shield you from a lot of things. I am a very big believer, especially now in my very young age. I'm a very big believer that there should have been a lot of talks that should have been had in church. A lot of talks. A lot of things that were stared away from.
A lot of experience, and people are telling you, oh, you have to wait for God to send you the right one. And then you fall into like certain relationships where it's like you think that's who God is sending for you, and then things go wrong, and then it kind of like, and as these things keep happening, you stop trusting that there's going to be a sign, that there's going to be an indication that this is the person for you. So how do you know when it's God versus when it's you? Just like, I don't even know how to word this. Like, how do you?
I got you, girl. I feel you on that. No, I feel you. No, I got you. I understand.
Okay, so,
I was
okay.
gonna ask you some more questions. It's like sometimes it gets so like lovesick. Like
Yeah, like you
meet
think
someone,
it's God.
Like you almost make yourself think that it's God telling you.
And it's so crazy. So one of the things that I posed a question in the soul, and it blew up. It was, is love a feeling or a choice?
Well, technically it can be both, but if you're talking about for the one that's lasting, it's a choice.
Okay. Okay.
Because feelings can fade.
Feelings can fade.
But you have
Feelings
to-
can change.
Like,
Yeah.
But you can also feel love.
Wait.
You can feel love, but you. It's in terms of how you,
no, keep on.
in terms of how you like give out that love is by choice. I mean, because like you're talking about how Jesus, like the love that we have for him. You know what I'm saying? He said, if you love me, show me, keep my commandments. That's by action. That's by choice.
Yeah.
Think about same thing with all of us and how God loves us, each and every one of us. Take care of.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to hold it.
Take care of us every day, yet we don't feel His love. I mean, how many people out there going up against God when God is still out here doing great things for?
And that's kind of one of the things that we said, because after we had that discussion, like I put it into the group chat. I was like, man, I'm glad that like God's love isn't based on how He feels, because that'd be dangerous.
Yeah, definitely.
Like and you gone. Like,
You know, that's actually funny because I actually read a verse in Psalms. I think it was Psalm 31. I don't know what verse specifically, but David says, he said, blessed are those, who have been justified by Him or something like that. It says because His anger is only for a moment, but His favor is for a lifetime. And I was like, that hit different.
we're trying to be like Christ, right? So when you read things like that, what do you take away from it?
It's okay to make mistakes sometimes. I see. Oh, okay. Let me explain. Because Christ obviously was perfect, and like, if like we're obviously gonna mess up, falling short in the process of trying to be like Christ, so we shouldn't like beat ourselves down for tripping up, because His favors for a lifetime. Because like I guess with me, like I often get like discouraged when like I mess up when I told myself I wouldn't do something. It's like, well, I just told myself not to do something, and here I am doing it again and again.
It's one way to think about it. Like
He's the definition of love.
Basically. So your anger should only last so long. We love to be upset. Even in our relationships, why are we like, nah, bro, she ain't had to do me like that, man. Like, man, she ain't my peanut butter. She know I love my peanut butter. Hey, you're laughing, but some people are like that.
So let's say like, but this is like in the beginning stages, and you don't really know if you love the person yet.
Okay, perfect. What's beginning stages?
Like
a couple
you're
weeks,
like
6 months? Because until God specifically goes, all right, bro, wife this one.
she it.
You not it. Like we can be friends. We can be vulnerable. All this other stuff. We can have conversations. But until He says she is it, she ain't it. And that is something that I had to learn, because what happens is you start to have these feelings for this person, and you start to let your emotions get into it, and you stop consulting God, and what ends up happening is your emotions are keeping you in a situation where God is telling you to get out of it.
Yep.
So it's more of a like I just went through this. Like I'm speaking from experience. Like you have to. It's hard. I know it's hard, but you have to consult God with everything you do. There's no good answer to that question but prayer. And I know like growing up I hated hearing that. Like I hate it. You know what I'm saying? They want you to pray about everything, but they don't like teach you how to get through it. You know? You hear all these things and you wonder where they come from. Like, oh, you're getting really hot and heavy to this person. Oh, go take a cold shower. Well, now you took 3 cold showers, you have pneumonia, you're in your sick bed. But you still want this person. You know what I'm saying? You know? And his other one was like, oh, they tell you to run around the track. Well, now you're competing for the Olympics and you still want this person. Like no earthly thing can help you get over something that's spiritual. Because we are taught that those type of things are physical when they are not. They are not solely physical. They are spiritual. It's spirit, mind, and body. And that's how that works. Okay? So like just like in that, the only thing that can get you out of that is do what Joseph did and run.
Big facts. Oh, and you know what about that? All right, so I just want to say something. I just want to say something about that real quick. I remember I was just like reading, watching everything like that, but it's like what you think ends up determining what your behaviors are and where your faith and your mind is placed. So like what you most commonly think about and what's at the most forefront of your mind is most likely is going to determine how you act and how you overcome.
Proverbs 20:7. As a man thinketh, so is he doeth. Yep. That's what it is. And that's another thing. It's always good, back to relationships, it's always good to have relationships with people that you can call on. Because that is how you get through those situations. There's a guy that I watch on YouTube, and he literally said when he was in the army, there was this woman that was just trying him, and she was sitting on his lap. He pulled out his phone and called his buddy and was like, bro, this is what is going on right now. And his guy was like, don't do it. Like you need that level of accountability. Hey, I'm about to do this thing right now.
Talk me out of it.
Like you need that. It may sound stupid, but like you're a human being. You're weak. Like you need that.
Alright.
Want to do one more?
Yeah.
All right.
Yo, bro, we was doing A1 30. I can't stand you. Yo, bro.
1,
2, 3,
4,
5,
6,
7,
8,
9.
That's
10,
11,
12,
13.
14,
15,
I keep getting scared that someone's gonna
16.
say it when I open my mouth.
17,
18.
19.
20,
21. 22.
23,
25,
26.
27,
28.
29,
30.
31. Yes.
32,
33.
34. 35.
36,
37,
38,
39.
40.